Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Greetings from New York City, and welcome to Alibaba.com Transformer Talks. My name is Erica Chen, calling you from our New York City office. A happy belated Mother's Day to all who celebrate, and also happy Small Business Week. This week is U.S. Small Business Week, and also it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, best wishes to all of you out there. And I'm excited to kick off this conversation today with two amazing mom entrepreneurs and transformers, Jamie Frank from Cloth Cuties and Ariel Young from Copper and Brass Paper Goods. Ariel and Jamie are actually two of our 50 Alibaba.com grant recipients from 2021. So in the fall of last year, Alibaba.com committed $500,000 to supporting U.S. small businesses, and we wanted to give $10,000 cash grants to small businesses who we think have a tremendous product idea or a tremendous go-to-market strategy that would make a positive impact in the world. And Ariel and Jamie are two out of our over 10,000 applicants who walked away with the grant. And so we're excited to have them here to share their entrepreneurial journey and to tell us a little bit about their own transformation, their own journey. So Ariel and Jamie, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So maybe we'll start with Ariel. Please tell us a little bit more about Copper and Brass Paper Goods, what the business does, who your customers are, etc.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ariel Young. I'm a little bit older than the mermaid, actually, a lot older. So, my name is Ariel. It's not Ariel like the mermaid. I'm the CEO and founder of Copper and Brass Paper Goods. Copper and Brass is an Afrocentric stationery company and also an e commerce gift boutique. We take pride in offering beautiful illustrations on our products. That includes our stationery products, wrapping paper, and all of our gift giving items. We take pride in also centering the Black experience through the use of illustrations that highlight positive representation of the Black community.
That's awesome.
Thank
And
you.
then Jamie, tell us about Cloth Cuties. And I personally have learned so much from you about just sustainability, but cloth diapering. So please tell us all about Cloth Cuties.
Thank you for having me here and thank you for blessing our business with this great opportunity. I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative and thankful. I am Jamie Frank out of Houston, Texas. I am the founder and CEO of Cloth Cuties. We are a cloth diaper brand and education platforms that helps moms simplify cloth diapering.
Wow.
And we have a special place in our heart for Black and brown moms. We think it's so important in 2022 that people know about cloth diapering as an option for their baby, and it can be as easy and as simple as you make it. I'm happy to be here and share everything about cloth diapering.
That's
Wow.
great. Thank you both so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule, I'm sure, to share some insights with us. And so for our audience, welcome again to Alibaba.com Transformer Talks. Alibaba.com is a global business to business e-commerce marketplace platform. And so there are millions of business buyers from around the world that come to our platform to source products in order to operate and grow their business. And we're also here to support our hundreds of thousands of suppliers from around the world to help them sell to these businesses from around the world. And then last year, in 2021, what we saw was that we're actually entering an age of entrepreneurship in the year 2020, and actually sort of encouraged or sparked by the pandemic. We actually saw a surge in new business formation. And so in the year 2020 alone, right, we saw an additional 600,000 new businesses that came online compared to the year prior in 2019. And so with this surge in entrepreneurship, we're trying to see how Alibaba.com, as an ally to small businesses from around the world, can really support the small business community. And Ariel and Jamie are two examples of mom entrepreneurs, of women entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who are from the of color, and how you're making actual tangible impact in your local, but then also the national and global economies. And what struck us, right, about both Copper and Brass and Cloth Cuties is really your purpose-driven approach to your business. And so, Ariel, let's start with you, right?
Okay.
Copper and Brass, it's a paper goods company, but it's so much more than stationery. And so, let's talk about sort of your approach to making an impact in the world, and especially your relationship with the historically Black universities and colleges.
All right. So Copper and Brass, not only, as you mentioned, is a stationary company, but we're so much more than stationary. Our overall mission is one of inclusion and also empowering Black people and also affirming who we are. Like I said, a lot of times people talk about representation is important, but that representation isn't always positive, and it's not always an accurate reflection of who we are. And so my thought was, who better to create paper goods and stationery products for people that look like me than someone like myself, for us, by us. And so that's where we're standing in the gap, and we're creating those products so that when you go into stores or if you're online and you want to purchase something that speaks to who you are and your cultural identity, we have those products that look like you and affirms, your space and in this world and who you are, and you want to be seen and you want to be heard, and that's what our products do for our customers. Our relationship to historically Black colleges and universities, we have currently over 50 licenses for use of HBCU logos and things of that nature. I believe we're the only stationery company in the world that has that focuses on HBCUs. And so we have different products for the big name HBCUs and as well as the smaller HBCUs. HBCUs are so unique in that they were created because there was not a space created for Black people to get the higher degrees and education in the past. And so we still find as though HBCUs are still relevant in this world. And so our products definitely pick up on the culture of different HBCUs. So every culture on every HBCU, whether it's Howard, Spelman, Fort Valley State, Albany State, they're all different. And our products highlight that specific culture for that specific college. And so, yes, we do find a lot of value in the different diversity amongst these different college students on the campuses of the HBCUs.
That's great. Maybe can you tell us a little bit more about what specific products are most popular or that you're most proud of, and how did you come up with those ideas?
I'm proud of all of our products, but I think the ones that I'm most proud of is we have a goal getter notebook, and it's a picture of a little girl with her bun up, like getting work done. She's on her iPad. And I think most women, whether you're Black, white, or whatever, we all have to get things done, especially as a mom. And so you put your hair up and you get to work and you focus and you're a goal getter. And that's what that notebook says. I'm also very proud of being able to have all of the licenses for the various HBCUs because that took a lot of work, energy, a lot of time. And so I'm very proud of, like I said, of all the products, but I definitely think goal getter is my favorite, probably. Like I said, I'm kind of partial to them all. And also the HBCU licenses.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Jamie, so tell us about your mission, right, to help more brown and Black mothers do cloth diapering. Why do you think it's an important issue? What kind of impact are you seeking to have?
Yes, so cloth diapering is an interesting product, right? Because everyone is having babies all the time, and diapering is so expensive. Formula now is so expensive. I was in a CVS recently and noticed that formula was locked up behind the counter. Now, while I can get formula, there are a whole lot of moms who can't. And so when I think about cloth diapering, breastfeeding, all of these things that could be more self-sustainable if we just learned how to do them ourselves. Cloth diapering is one of those things that I think a lot more Black and brown moms would use it if they knew that it was an option. So Cloth Cuties exists to share, and to Ariel's point, a representation of someone who is Black, who uses cloth diaper. I actually recently learned that I was a third generation cloth diapered baby.
Wow.
My mom was one of 12, born in Houston, Texas, and the way she always knew that she was getting a new sibling was that her mom would send her to the washateria to wash the diapers and to get them prepared. And so my mom told me when I was getting ready to have a baby, you know what, Jamie, if you would just consider it, I'll get you a cloth diaper service. But there wasn't one in my area. So I ended up purchasing my diapers, washing them myself, learning to really love them, but also saving myself a whole lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
I never ran out of diapers. I never had to go to a doctor's appointment for a diaper rash with my son. That saved
Wow.
me taking off work. It saved me money trying to buy Desitin and all these other kind of things that you need. So cloth diapering is a method of diapering that more moms, if they just gave it a try, could find themselves learning to love and really kind of feeling more independent, self-sufficient, without trying to, break the bank on diapers that are constantly increasing in price, especially when we find ourselves in the pandemic, trending toward post-pandemic. Yeah, it's a one way to really make your family more self-sufficient.
I love that. Yeah, and we're definitely feeling inflationary pressures as we speak. Shifting gears a little bit. So you're both like amazing pioneering entrepreneurs, but on top of that, you're both mothers of young children. And I'm just curious, like for all the women out there, all the women entrepreneurs, like how has being a mother shaped your outlook, or how has it impacted your entrepreneurial journey? Maybe we'll start with Jamie first.
Okay. Well, being a mom is the root of my business, right? I would not have even come to cloth diapering and given this business a shot without the influence of my cloth cuties.
Right.
So they really are the driving force of why I do this. And not only are they the inspiration, but they're my reason to keep it going. When we think about wealth building in our community and having something to leave to our children and legacy, like entrepreneurship is one way of doing that on top of a 9 to 5 or in lieu of a 9 to 5. It's a way to increase our avenues for wealth. So I'm super proud and thankful. It was in the middle of the pandemic that I even came back to this idea of what did I enjoy? And it was me thinking back about my time when my babies were little and cuddling and diapering them and how cute their butts looked in cloth diapers. That really kind of sparked me like, okay, Jamie, this is something you're passionate about. This is something you want to share with people. And there were no other moms that looked like me on YouTube even talking about cloth diapering when I needed it back then. So my kids, and going back to that memory of how cute and little and cuddly they were, are really the reason I'm a mompreneur.
I love that. I love that. Ariel, what about you?
I think I'm going to piggyback off of something Jamie said about, our kids inspire us to do more, to be more. Um, my son is 8 years old, and I found I was working in a full-time career. I'm a school psychologist by trade, and I found that I was doing so much work as a school psychologist and bringing some of that home with me. So I wasn't able to center my son and to really be present in the moment with him and also my husband. And so I found that having a business, another avenue, something I'm passionate about, though I'm passionate about school psychology, but having something that builds generational wealth for my own family, something that I'm in charge of, something that I wake up in the morning, I'm very happy about. It's inspired me to push harder, to set a good example for him. He's even told me that he's proud of me. And so he's been a driving force as well as other family members. But to keep going and to do even more, and to, just strive for success.
That's amazing. And it's just as a fellow mother, I feel like there's nothing as transformative really as sort of the journey to becoming a parent. And I kudos to both of you, right? For turning that transformation into the energy to not just transform your own business and family outlook, but to transform your community and also the world. Speaking of, what do you see as being sort of the ultimate achievement that you're seeking? What does success look like for Cloth Cuties or for Copper and Brass paper goods? Jamie, do you want to go first?
Sure. So right now, Cloth Cuties is really focused and centered on being an education platform. But what success looks like in the years to come is that we want to launch our own cloth diaper line. And in doing that, we are getting ready and getting geared up for a crowdfunding campaign and making that really successful in our community, and people who want to learn about cloth diapering really rallying behind us to bring our products to market. Um, Excuse me. And with that, we the big picture goal for Cloth Cuties, the thing that's like the big audacious hairy goal in the back of my head, is two parts. One, not only do we want to be a cloth diaper product retailer, but also we want to make it super easy for those moms who say, like, look, cloth diapering sounds like a great idea, but girl, I can't do the mess. Like, food is not my thing. Don't sign me up. But I will sign up if you can wash, deliver the diapers clean to me, make it super simple and easy. I want Cloth Cuties to be the first nationwide cloth diaper service in the U.S. That would make my heart so proud, and that's what we're working toward.
I love it. So it's an education campaign, it's a product, and it's also a service.
Amen.
Ariel, what about copper and brass paper goods?
Jamie, I just want to, I think that is great what you were just talking about. I wish that service had been around when I had my baby, because I was someone who used it, went to the doctor a lot about diaper rash and things like that. So kudos to you for even having this idea and putting it out there for people of color, because I don't think we've been introduced to that. Now, some goals for copper and brass in the future are, I would love to launch a planner that's on our agenda for this year, a lifestyle planner. And we actually used the funds from the Alibaba.com grant that we received, the $10,000 to spearhead that. So we immediately got to designing that planner. We have everything designed out right now. So we're in the process of ordering those planners for launch this fall. So it would be a 2023 planner. But the ultimate goal is to one day hit Oprah's favorite things list. That
you
is
can
the
do it.
goal.
That is a great goal.
Right.
I love that. Speaking of planners, so as entrepreneurs, as moms, like how do you juggle all the sort of different requirements and all the different demands on your time and your mental energy? Since it's Mental Health Awareness Month, like any tips or tricks that you care to share with other moms and entrepreneurs out there? Let's start with you, Ariel.
Well, I don't really think there's ever a balance really between work and your family and your kids. I think you just have to prioritize. Sometimes my son needs more of my attention, and sometimes he doesn't need as much of my attention. So I have to prioritize around the needs of my son, my family, and the business. A lot of it has to do with self-care. When I feel as though I need a moment, I do take a step back. I think a lot of times we're in this world right now where everybody's like hustle, 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 and you can't hustle 24/7. We all need to rest. We need to take a step back. And sometimes it's, disconnecting from the phone, disconnecting from the internet, disconnecting from social media. I've just had like a week where I'm moving from one warehouse to another. So I took some time away. I wasn't able to post as much, but it gave me a moment to step back, even though I'm still doing the work behind the scenes. So it's definitely, there is no balance, but I do prioritize.
That's great. Jamie, what about you?
Wow. Ariel, you and I are so unlike. I'm so happy we're doing this together. Thank you, Erica. But some of the things you just said, I had to write a couple notes down, because juggling is hard. And when at my 9 to 5, I was on a call one time, and someone said, you're always juggling these balls, but you have to know which balls are glass and which ones are rubber. And sometimes as a mom, you have to make, because it shifts. Some things, I know being a mom, being a mother, that's glass. Sometimes posting on social media for Cloth Cuties, that's rubber sometimes.
Right.
But, you pick it back up, and you know that you can just keep juggling. And that really is a hard thing. And I've had a real hard realization with that recently, because as a mompreneur that does this part-time, I like have a whole lot on my plate during the day. I'm running kids to different activities. I have 2 kids. I don't know if I said that, 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. But my daughter's in dance. My son's in jiu-jitsu. They both go to swimming on Wednesdays. It's a lot going. And for a while, I wasn't sleeping because I was grinding, doing Cloth Cuties at night, getting up, going to work in the morning, doing things, shuttling the kids around. And not having enough sleep really wreaked havoc on my system, my mood, my energy, like everything. And so doing that, taking that self-care, you have to do that. And so, and back to Ariel, I'm going to have to get one of these 2023 planners because I'm a writer. I write things down, and
Right.
I like to check off to-do lists. My Outlook is full of things that I check off, and that's how I function. But yeah, as a mom, it's hard out here in these streets, and I don't necessarily know that I'm doing a good job at balancing and juggling all the time, but I am always trying to figure out what can I pick up and will still be okay a few days from now.
Is there anything you do, like a ritual or an activity that like allows yourself to sort of unwind or like take a breath and recenter?
My husband will tell you that I take extremely long showers. Like, there's no shame. I take like a 45-minute shower almost every night. And most of the time I'm just sitting there scrolling mindlessly or just letting the water run and relaxing. So that's my thing.
Yeah, and very often that's like the best sort of reflection and thinking time as well.
I get so many good ideas in the shower.
Absolutely. And then I know like the entrepreneurial journey is super exciting, but it's also, right, often met with challenges and setbacks. I'm curious for you, like, how do you overcome those setbacks, or are there examples that you can share with the audience who might be struggling in their own journey? Like, what are some tips you might have to help overcome setbacks?
You talking?
Jamie, you want to go first?
Okay. Setbacks are hard. But I mean, such is life, right? And I apply kind of the same principles that I do in my real life to my business. And I'm a faith-based person, so I, put a lot of my faith and trust that God's going to align things when they're supposed to be, and try to, in some ways, let a lot of things go. But I also know that even in setbacks, there are also things you can be doing. So I try to make sure that I maximize the little things. So if it's coming up with ideas that I want Cloth Cuties to aspire to in the future while I'm waiting, or in a pause mode, or because I'm currently in one now where I have shifted my production to a different company. And so I'm really excited about that, but that's a slow going process, right? So, while I'm doing that, what are the other little things I can be doing? And that's, coming up with good ideas, getting really clear on when I do go into production, I want it to look like X, Y, and Z, talking to my clients, finding out from them is what is in my head, something that they want to buy, and getting that ready. So I think one of the most powerful things is that you find yourself in holding patterns sometimes, but there's still little things you can do to further along while you wait.
That's great. Ariel?
Some things I like to do is I like to celebrate the small wins, and I try to keep them recorded somewhere so I can always reference those and go through those again. And I'm big on affirmations. I say daily affirmations every day. I have my son, we say affirmations before he gets out at school. So I truly believe in speaking things into existence. And I know every day won't be a good day because sometimes you're the dog, sometimes you're the tree. So, life just has ebbs and flows, and you have to remember that every day is not going to be a good day, but there's something good in every day. And so I choose to see the good things in every day. And a lot of times I even, if I'm down on myself, if sales aren't where I think they should be, I'll go and read customer reviews and things like that, things that remind me of the better days. Because like I said, nothing is always perfect. So you have to remind yourself, well, I did this well. How can I improve it? And so those customer reviews definitely help also.
That's great. I feel like we all need to get one of the Copper and Brass notebooks or planners to jot down all of these important insights. I'm curious if there have been any advice that you've been given or wisdom that you've collected along the way that you'd like to share with our audience, because you're speaking to the global community of small and medium-sized businesses and entrepreneurs, many of whom I would think are women entrepreneurs, mom entrepreneurs. people of color. And so, yeah, if there's any advice or wisdom you could share, it'd be much appreciated.
I would say some advice that I would give would be to develop a community of other entrepreneurs or even moms. If you're just in a mom group, other people you can reach out to that have lived the same experiences that you're going through. And so you can just kind of collaborate together. It's collaboration over competition. And so definitely if you can find someone in your same arena, same industry that's had those experiences, and you can reach out and say, well, I'm hearing my growth pattern. What did you do when you were here? And someone that can share those stories and experiences with you. So definitely having a community, a supportive community at that.
That's great. Jamie?
I like that, especially with the collaboration. So I have to shout out the other Black-owned cloth diaper businesses, because we are definitely a collaborative group that I rely on for a lot of support and wisdom. The other piece of advice that I have is, I know we've all heard this, but how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And that just becomes so important when you're an entrepreneur. You have such big dreams, especially if you're a visionary, but they can feel overwhelming a lot of the time. But you just do things one bite, one chunk, one day at a time, and build the business that you really love and that customers will love and appreciate too.
You both are so wise. In the spirit of affirmation, I would just love to say, like, you're such amazing role models for not just female entrepreneurs, but just entrepreneurs out there, right? Like I'm just jotting down like so many great notes: collaboration over competition, tell your rubber balls from your glass balls, and one step, one bite at a time. Any final parting thoughts before we let you get back to running your business?
Well, I just want to say thank you all for having me to be a part of this. It was great meeting Jamie, and also Erica for you hosting this. And also thank you to Alibaba for giving me the opportunity to put Copper and Brass a step forward with the grant funds, which are really helping my business. So investing in me is investing in my community, and I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Same. I have the same sentiments, and I'm so thankful for today and meeting with you two ladies and the Alibaba community for supporting and believing in Cloth Cuties. Y'all were the first people to really take that step monetarily and back us, and we tremendously support it, and our brand is going to grow so much from having your backing and support. So I'm just so elated to be here and so very appreciative of you guys.
Well, we're very excited to be part of your journeys. Again, right, as you mentioned, it takes a community. So let's build that community and help each other out. And on that note, everybody, happy Small Business Week and a belated Happy Mother's Day to you both. And let's see what we can do to help push that movement along and grow your businesses. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you.